Dude, Luke, the printer's still busted. What the fuck, man?
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to episode 49 of the Topless Robot Podcast. My name is Ryan.
I'm losing.
I'm Dan.
I'm Tyler.
And joining us today is...
My nightmare. Oh, wait. Sorry.
voice actor Chris McCullough, probably best known for your work in Five Nights at Freddy's.
Hello.
Yeah. So, thank you for joining us.
Welcome to the Topless Robot Podcast.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Already, I can see that Tyler is tensing up just like by your presence, knowing that you're from Five Nights.
FNAF.
I'm disappointed that you made me move the mic. It was blocking the vision of him.
I have my hat. I can take it off. And there, you're protected.
All right.
So, good Lord, it has been a hell of a fucking week.
It's been a week.
Sure has.
My God.
7 days.
So, and we talked about it briefly in our group chat about the whole Spider-Man thing.
Spider-Man.
Spooderman. James Spaderman.
I was really hoping that we would have something different to talk about with regard to this, because the rumors were that Sony and Disney had come to an agreement and that they were going to announce it at D23 yesterday.
They did not.
That didn't happen.
No.
And it's sad because the agreement that was rumored to have been accepted was 7 more movies, and Marvel would be producing not only Spider-Man, but the other Spider-Man universe movies that Sony was planning. So that's Morbius. That's, they've got a Kraven the Hunter movie that they're planning on, and everything Marvel, and this second Venom movie. So Marvel would be attached to all of that.
Gwen Stacy, Mall Trouble, the film.
You see, the reason that I knew that was false is because that's quite literally too good to be true.
Way too
That
good
is
to be true.
that is fulfilling everyone's fantasy after already being chucked off the cliff.
My fantasy is that they'll stop fighting and then make a Chrono Trigger movie.
Oh, shut up.
Shut up.
Will never happen.
You've got to dream. You've got to hold on to the dream.
So I've noticed there are a lot of mixed opinions with Are you okay there, bud?
My coffee just attacked my eyeball.
That's because you put the cup in your mouth, not your eye.
He's still learning. He just needs time.
I think
Ryan, is his
so far
sippy cup
this
in the dishwasher?
this has shown that I have a drinking problem. Like
It's just another day of difficult being a
it's
Tyler.
difficult being me. Anyway,
It's difficult being around you too.
See, if I'm gonna be down in the depths, I'm gonna bring everyone else down to my level.
I feel it.
So, as I was saying before, I was so rudely interrupted by your ineptitude of drinking.
So anyways,
There are like opinions across the board on this. Some people are blaming Sony. Some people are blaming Disney. Either way, the one thing that everyone seems to be able to agree on is
Money.
Money. These are big
Spider-Man.
These are big corporations. We shouldn't be, feeling feelings about this. Everything that they're doing is for greed.
At the end of the day, Disney and Sony are the divorced parents, and we're just the children.
does that mean
why? Was it
Spider-Man
my
gets
fault?
2
Did I
Christmases?
do something? Did I cause this?
I know
Yes, you
that people love Disney, but the more things that can get taken away from them, the better it is.
Correct.
I don't like them.
Competition is fantastic.
I don't get that invested in watching movies, so it's not a big problem for me if they suck. If Disney makes less money, I'm happy about it.
I am with you on that to a point. I feel like, yes, Sony owns the movie rights to Spider-Man. Doesn't change the fact that Spider-Man is a Marvel character. It's a Marvel property.
Sure.
And, I just want Spider-Man to be home at Marvel. Like, I want, now that Marvel has
wants a
proven themselves
homecoming.
capable filmmakers, and they built up the MCU. I want all Marvel properties to revert back to Marvel because I don't think anyone else is going to do them better.
So you want a Spider-Man Homecoming, but unfortunately,
Why
he's
did
far
you
from
decide-
home.
Why did you decide to repeat the joke?
Because I had to say the second part.
We already glanced over the joke.
That joke kind of missed. It was Far From Home.
Well, anyway, yeah, I get it.
God damn it.
You're right.
Fuck.
Disney will make all of the Marvel properties better than anybody else, but also fuck Disney.
Yeah, they're kind of
They're bullies.
They're bullies, corporate overlords, and great a great addition to the dystopian cyberpunk landscape that we're getting into.
Yeah, right.
Oh, speaking of which, I know we have a lot of things to talk about,
Oh, so much.
but something else really, really cool, important happened this week. The first crime committed
in
in space
space.
happened.
I heard about that, but I didn't actually read the article. I just saw the headline.
I just love the headline. First space crime committed.
It was
just
a
adding
crime
space to it.
involving space criminal activity.
Yeah, so what happened?
So one of the astronauts was illegally accessing their spouse's financial information from a computer in space.
In
It's not even a cool crime. It's not
Yeah.
someone was the first crime in space was committed with the first ray gun.
Yeah, right.
Or at least an American and Russian astronaut got in a fist fight.
No, it was just-
space assault. Space assault and battery.
Somebody flashed their junk from the ISS. And nobody actually saw it, but
Space flashing.
yeah.
Oh my
Flashing.
god. If I was an astronaut, I absolutely would fucking put some pressed hams on that on that capsule window.
Look, there are
and moon
two
the
moons.
entirety of humanity.
I would also moon the moon.
yeah, the moon and
Moon
nights.
the moon.
You can moon the moon from Earth, though.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
but it'll be closer.
The moon can see and appreciate.
I wish the moon to view the craters on mine. The cheeks of tranquility.
I'm curious how the fuck they found out. Do you trace an IP address and it's wait a second, it's coming from space?
That can't be right.
The ultimate crime. They didn't know who did it. There's only 6 people in space.
crap.
I think that's what makes it easier is there's so few people. You have to...
Yeah, right.
I think if I read right, it was something like it was the domain or the email was registered with NASA that they used or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not only was it a dumb crime, it was committed really stupidly.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
In space.
That's what makes
It's like Jason X all over again.
In space, no one.
Also, if you need to illegally access someone's financial information from space, you probably already have enough money to not need other people's money.
Yeah.
You're an astronaut.
In space, no one can hear you ping.
Damn it. I was going for it. I wanted to get my killer clowns joke in. But it's gone now.
And there was a bunch of news out of Gamescom this week, but for the life of me, my brain
New
lapsed. And
Kerbal Space.
Well, there's a
Program.
new I saw the trailer for that. I was just digging around on YouTube, and then I was like, "What is this space thing?" Because I like space shit, and
crime in space.
yeah, I love crime in space. Okay,
Kerbal shit posting program.
Yeah, the Kerbal shit posting program.
Space Criminal Minds.
Spriminal.
But I can't remember any of the goddamn announcements.
Because of the space.
I'm not looking it up right now.
Of course not.
Well, there are video games coming out, and people are very excited about them.
There are. That is a fact. Risk of Rain 2 got announced for the Switch.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
I remember that.
There was another
because Risk of
thing-
Rain 2 is fucking awesome.
Oh, we have that retraction.
Oh, yeah, we do have that retraction. Apparently, we mentioned last week that Nintendo, if you purchased your Switch recently, Nintendo is swapping it out for the new model for free. Apparently, that is not an official Nintendo program. And the source on that was a Redditor who posted a conversation that he had where he posted a recording of him talking to a Nintendo rep on the phone, and they said that. But when contacted, Nintendo said that it is not an official program that they're doing. That is not something that they're offering. And yeah,
I guess Billy's cool uncle that works for Nintendo was wrong, huh?
Yeah,
true. So one of the things we got some more information on was that very interesting looking John Wick Hex strategy game.
Oh, yeah.
Which I'm actually really excited for still. It looks fascinating.
Is it Wixcom?
Anyway. Yeah, so I think it'd be one of the few ways you could handle the chaos of a John Wick game would be to slow everything down.
Yeah.
And in a Hex game, that gives you the opportunity to do all those strange combat maneuvers.
I mean, it would either have to be a strategy game or it would have to be basically a skinned version of My Friend Pedro.
Yeah. Or just have to be a game that makes liberal use of bullet time.
Yeah. I was going to say...
Like some Max Payne shit.
Yeah, right.
I was going to say...
Or those really shitty Matrix games. The Matrix the game.
Speaking of the Matrix...
that's right.
Matrix 4 is go, apparently, with Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss signed back on. Do we need a Matrix 4?
We didn't need a Matrix 2.
Yeah, no,
or
we
3.
absolutely didn't.
We did need the Animatrix, so that was cool.
Animatrix was cool. I don't think we need this.
It's taking full advantage of the Keanu fever that is now sweeping the nation.
Yeah, right. It seems like that has to be the only thing that is fueling that is
Bill and Ted.
I'm more invested in that than I am in Matrix.
Oh, absolutely.
100%.
Bill and Ted? Yeah.
I don't know. Have they started filming out here yet?
They finished filming.
Are you serious?
They're already finished filming.
Motherfuck.
Yeah.
Because I knew
they just wrapped up filming a day or two ago, I think.
We should still go get some pictures taken at the gas station.
Yeah.
Which I'd been going to for years before someone was like, that's the gas station. That's the Circle K from Bill and Ted, right? And I was like, no, you're fucking with me, dude. Like, no. Yeah, it's there. It's there. Just,
Yeah, I thought you were going to just end that with, that's the gas station. That's the gas station.
Well, there are strange things afoot.
Yeah, they sell gas.
Cool.
Did we also get the lovey information on how you can piss in Death Stranding from Gamescom?
Oh, yeah.
How for some reason that's a big deal.
Hey, listen, Kojima's work is autobiographical, and there was that time that he killed that guy with his piss.
Yeah.
And it's joy in the game.
We also got information on the MMO Marvel's Avengers that Square Enix is doing.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, that's right.
From what I've been told.
That's an MMO?
Yeah, it's got like a Destiny 2-ish model. Where you play, it's like a hero MMO.
You're all Hawkeye.
We don't need more hero MMOs.
Well, maybe we finally need a good one because every single one that's been made so far sucks.
City of Heroes and City of Villains were
City
actually
of
very
Heroes was fun.
City of Heroes was a game.
good. DC Universe Online is not great.
Nope.
Imposters.
The problem with making a hero MMO, a superhero MMO, is people want to be the Hulk. People want to be these characters. And if it's an MMO, you don't get to be those
can't be the
I
Hulk.
think you might actually be able to in this, unless the Hulk is just in a cutscene. I can't tell.
No. That's not the Incredible Hulk. It's the Incredible Hank.
It's the Incredible Chulk.
If they let everyone be the Avengers superheroes, you just know that there's just going to be a horde of fucking Hulks going around the world.
Yeah.
And then a bunch of people that think they're Deadpool, even though that's not an Avenger.
I'm actually, Crystal Dynamics. Is that like an offshoot of Square Enix or something?
They were part of Eidos, I think, and are part of Enix.
Cool.
They
Yeah.
work on
Enix part
Final
of Square
Fantasy
Enix.
stuff.
Crystal
maybe?
Dynamics? No. Crystal Dynamics does.
I'm thinking Crystal Chronicles.
Yep.
Yes.
Which was actually a pretty solid game.
Yeah.
Crystal Dynamics does I could be wrong, but if I remember correctly, Crystal Dynamics does the Tomb Raider series.
Yes? Question mark.
I believe so, anyway.
And you definitely do get to play the heroes. As I'm watching this gameplay video, they are playing the Hulk. They are actually playing the Hulk and like throwing tanks around and shit.
Yeah, right. Every one of them is the Hulk. You've got just a team of 7 Hulks.
What's the worst that could happen?
And then it jump cuts to the future when the entire internet is taken down because of this game.
Dan, you play Space Station 13. I think you know what the worst that can happen is when you're talking about games and online.
Yeah, but like the amount of things you can actually fuck up in an MMO are pretty minimal. Like there's not a whole lot you can exploit usually. It's not that, and even when there is something you can exploit, like it's, ooh, I jumped out of bounds in this area. How spicy. I'm not a big fan of most MMOs.
Yeah.
I think they're boring. And
Ooh, as I'm scrolling through, guess what else we're getting? Minecraft RTX.
There's bees in Minecraft.
Bees.
Covered in bees.
was that the one we saw footage from?
No, that was Minecraft Dungeons.
Oh.
A Minecraft demo which had been lavished with the new ray tracing upgrade. While the likes of Call of Duty and Shadow of the Tomb Raider only have more detailed and realistic shadow effects, Minecraft looks like an entirely new game with RTX activated.
Those
Spoilers,
blocks
it's
have never
Minecraft.
looked more realistic.
That's what we needed. Minecraft ray tracing.
That's exactly
8-year-olds
what we
around the world rejoice.
They're all 12 now. They're playing Fortnite.
God damn. Fortnite. Ugh.
When I grow up, I'm gonna be a YouTube star.
I don't think you're allowed to say Fortnite without dabbing, right? Isn't that?
Ryan, can I get that bottle?
You! Why? What have I done to you?
I apologize in advance. We're in the splash zone.
You might get the mic.
I've
got pillows. I got
these
blocks.
mics have seen worse.
Okay. That kind of scares
no,
me
I
now.
just asked for the bottle, Tyler. I'm not doing it right
Oh,
now.
okay.
You're not gonna know when.
I don't like
You're just gonna know.
Could happen any time. Any time. At any
He
moment.
just flinched as you put it in your pocket.
And then the last thing I see is we can gloss over these real quick. We have a new Tom Clancy game and a new Call of Duty game. Cool, great, that's done.
Yeah, whatever.
Hey, look, it's the same game, but with something slightly different.
Yeah.
Look, this gun comes in gold and silver.
Except this one's called Call of Duty Modern Warfare instead of Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare from 15 years ago.
Call of Warfare Modern Duty.
I stopped playing Call of Duty games after Call of Duty 3.
They were fun. Like when they came out, it was cool because like being like a World War II nerd growing up. Because my dad, we played those games together. And then when it jumped into the Modern Warfare stuff and it became more multiplayer instead of about the campaign, I stopped caring because I can pretend better than this game can represent.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You ever play any of the Call of Duty games?
No.
No. Not much of a shooter guy.
Wolfenstein.
Wolfenstein.
Wolfenstein fucking rules.
But which era?
I go all the way back to Apple II, all the way up. I kind of got Alpha 1's best that took over. Those are it's just not resonating with me. Like Return to Castle Wolfenstein, I'll play that. Yeah, I'll play that until the end.
I found Wolfenstein. So I have Wolfenstein 2 on the Switch. It is a surprisingly extremely good game. I have really enjoyed that game quite a lot. And they've done put a lot of polish on the newer ones, but in general I'm finding myself less and less in love with shooters. Like I miss the old run and gun style. I miss Quake, and running around in Quake and Unreal Tournament and that kind of stuff. And
Chex Quest.
Yeah, a lot of the more limited
Brutal Chex Quest.
Brutal Chex Quest.
Sorry. Come back to
That
me
video was so
when you bring
good.
up Banjo Tooie and the multiplayer shooter on that. No.
Oh, you made it missed.
Shotgun blast.
The limited human movement that people have been leaning towards for quote unquote realism just makes games less fun.
Yeah.
I want to be able to jump 20 stories and
Yes.
I don't understand this obsession with realism. You are making a fantasy property. You're making something impossible. Like, stretch it. Do whatever you can to make it entertaining. Nobody wants to be a human. It's boring.
I mean, the only benefits for
why Dan
for
identifies
being a
as
human
an
is
elf.
that you get extra feats.
Yeah.
Dan identifies as a wizard.
That's not a race, Ryan. That's a class.
And who are you to go telling me what a wizard is and is not?
Sorcerer trash.
See, I bet you let your dad's bloodline do all the work for you. I can read.
My papa's magic
Weird
is
flex,
strong.
but okay.
Take that, sorcerer.
Look, I made a broom dance.
It's going to get water now.
Oh, look at all of those limited cantrips, you know.
I can throw my voice across the room.
Oh, prestidigitation, we all know that one.
Unseen hand. More bagel bites.
I bet you took dancing lights.
So, Ononaki came out this week.
Yeah.
That was a game that we had all kind of remarked looked interesting during the E3, press conference.
That's not the houseboat one, is it?
No.
Okay.
This is Dan had kind of dismissed it as standard JRPG affair.
Oh, that one. It looks interesting. I haven't looked too much into it myself.
I downloaded the demo, and now I have to buy the game.
Yeah. Is that in the terms and agreement?
No, so
If you look really closely, it actually requires your soul.
it is a basic action RPG. Like it seems like just a typical action RPG, Japanese aesthetic, things like that.
Aesthetic.
But the combat, from what I've seen, does get a little repetitive. But the graphics are very pretty, and the concept of this story is really interesting. You're part of... It starts with your main character as a child, and your parents have just died.
Typical anime fare.
But
Nani?
If you're an anime, you're not allowed to have
your best
full
friend
set of parents.
reminds you that you're not allowed to grieve. You have to be happy and celebratory, otherwise your parents' souls will get lost and not make it, to
Valhalla!
Japanese Valhalla.
And
It's like regular Valhalla, but with more karaoke.
There's a round one.
That's racist. It's like Valhalla, but with capsule hotels.
you grow up and you become what's called a watcher. And the Watchers actually are able to travel to the spirit realm and find these lost souls and help them get to where they need to go.
I have a question. Who watches the Watchers?
Tyler,
Please.
first of all, I was getting ready to say that joke. Second of all, I already see a major loophole here. If you
Okay.
grieve for your parents and they get lost, but your job is to go find lost souls, then you go find your parents and then get the closure you actually need.
So the
But
game...
it's not anime. That's not anime, though.
The game took a real interesting turn. Like, I'm going through and I'm like, okay, this is kind of an interesting premise. And the first mission that you have in the game, you find the soul of this small boy. And this boy is really sad and just wants to see his parents in his home again. And so you say, okay, well, we can do that. And you and your friend kind of escort this child to his home. And the parents can't see him, obviously. But you knock on the door and, hey, we're hear about your son. And they're like, oh, nothing's wrong, right? He should have passed over by now. Like, we haven't been grieving. And you're like, well, actually, there is a problem.
we have your son with us right now, and they're trying to figure out, we didn't do anything wrong. We haven't been grieving. He's supposed to be passed by now. And the boy says, I don't want to be alone, and he's crying. And so they can't hear it. Your partner says that he's crying, and they're like, oh, God, what's wrong? Why is he crying? And your character is very cold, like very closed off. And so he just says, matter-of-factly, he doesn't want to be alone.
Oh, is it because he's dead?
Your partner, time. Your friend is like, it kind of shushes you. And the next thing I know, like, the mom is like, I see. I'm ready to go.
Yikes.
And I'm like, what the is she about to just go and commit suicide so she can be with her son? And then the father is like kind of distraught, and he's like, yep, okay. Me too.
Ah.
And I'm like, hold on. What the fuck is going on here?
And then you cut them in half with your katana.
Yeah.
Nothing personality.
No. That's not a joke.
What? I know.
What?
Yeah, so
It's almost like I can predict what's going to happen.
they kneel down, and you fucking slice them in half.
But with the power of friendship.
And I was like, holy shit, that got really dark. Like, that's fucked up. So that's, the intro of that game. So I need to learn more about this world.
Sounds like a very lovely and uplifting game.
Yeah, right.
Doesn't sound like anime.
But yeah, and probably the most anime JRPG element of it is you fight with demons. You're, Daemons. That is
Demons.
how you fight. You find demons, and you take on the weapon that they have equipped, and they help, in battles and stuff like that. Which
You just gotta believe.
it makes the fighting a little less samey. But still, it's button mashy action RPG, kind of stuff. But
The story sounds interesting.
yeah, I really want to play more of that game. I have really enjoyed it.
Even as we speak now, the principal characters are starring and featuring in fan fiction.
Oh, the ships that are being made right now.
They shall
many
sail
ships.
across the sea. Along with my Final Fantasy IX fan fiction crossover. What's the name of this game again?
Oninaki.
Oninaki. Okay.
Yeah, very interesting. But what all have you guys been playing? I'll start with you, Chris.
I've been on a hardcore Dead by Daylight kick recently. But I've also been playing Mortal Kombat 11.
Are you a killer or a survivor main?
I'm a survivor. I am Ash right now.
Nice.
Okay.
I haven't played since they added Ash, but it looks really cool. I've seen some gameplay.
Yeah,
of
he
it.
does do the voice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I mean, it's mostly grunts and stuff, but every now and then, look who's shitting in the tall grass.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, they've done a really surprisingly good job of keeping that game up. Like the Friday the 13th game and Dead by Daylight were like, they were about to come out. I think the plans were that they were going to be coming out around the same time, and then Dead by Daylight hit market first. Mm-hmm. And I remember like being super excited for the Friday the 13th game, and then Dead by Daylight just fucking overshadowed him like crazy.
I was a backer for the Friday the 13th game, so yeah, I've watched everything. That game should have had so much more potential than what it did.
Yeah,
but it's just lawsuits and honestly bad customer relations with Gunn and the players is just
that sucks.
'Cause I know when it first came out, people were really stoked about Friday the 13th, and I was like, I know it had that. Yeah, you hear Dead by Daylight more all the time now than you ever did Friday the 13th. There's that 2-month period where Friday the 13th was like, yeah, this is great, and it disappeared.
It's almost like
its popularity will come back because, as we all know, Jason lives.
Just before taking Manhattan. it's almost like Jason would be better served as becoming DLC for Dead by Daylight. Like
I think it'll
have
happen
with
eventually.
So many other characters at this point.
Once the lawsuit and all that crap is over with, I'm pretty sure they'll get the rights.
By Friday
so.
the 13th, Doki Doki Literature Club crossover game is almost complete. It's gonna be awesome. You're gonna have sex with Jason.
This sounds like Dan's dream game. Because we all know that dating sims are his favorite part of every game.
I thought Dan was more of a leprechaun guy.
That's racist.
See, I choose the alternate route where instead of having sex with Jason, I choose all of the worst dialogue options, and he kills me very early so I can stop playing the game.
That's what we call a pro gamer move.
Absolutely.
How about you, Tyler? What have you been playing?
I finally booted up No Man's Sky.
Oh, it finally loaded.
Yes.
God damn it. Yeah, played No Man's Sky. It's pretty awesome.
How are you liking?
I want to
VR?
play the VR. I've watched a whole bunch of people playing VR and it looks sick.
I will say, don't play it on PlayStation VR.
Really?
It is muddy garbage.
Oh, that's disappointing.
Yeah, it is.
The one that I was watching was really cool.
Well, sure, they're capturing the screen.
Fair.
They're capturing the actual rendered, stuff. What you're seeing through that headset looks horrible.
That's disappointing.
But
I am liking the new update. I've also liked the last new update. Like with every iteration, the game's actually becoming a real game. That's like it just feels more alive.
It's almost a game from what I hear now.
I mean, this is what it should have been when it came out.
Yeah,
2 years ago now.
3.
Wow, yeah.
Well, the fact they stuck to their guns and still
It's so cool.
What
And you
guns?
can see. I kind of. On one hand, I feel bad. The developers' names or the
Hello Games.
Yeah, Hello Game. But I feel
Goodbye,
bad for
games.
them. On the one hand, because it feels like, they got so much shit, and they've been actually very like this. We're gonna fix this the entire way, like from the beginning. They're like, we're gonna make this good, and they've been doing that, and they've. Like every time, like they've gone beyond what they initially say they're going to do.
It is admirable and impressive in this day and age that they could bounce back from the PR nightmare that was the launch of that game.
Yeah, I'll give them credit for that as much as I still detest that game. Like, at least they made good on that.
They've made it a
I don't think it was that
legitimately
difficult
fun
for them to
game.
bounce back, considering that the rest of the world is a PR shit post right now.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. It's a good point.
I mean, the Sonic the Hedgehog movie.
Especially considering Hello Games is a small indie studio.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm pretty sure when I met them at PAX East in 2010, when they were doing Joe Danger, I'm fairly certain I met everyone who worked for the company because there were only like 4 people.
And I mean, I know they promised a bunch of stuff when they initially released it, and it didn't have it. But when I finally got around to seeing a friend of mine play it, it was really relaxing and very pretty to look at. So I imagine that even though it fell through on a lot of the promises that were made, I feel like there was enough hope that those things would eventually be added.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like they're coming through on that now.
Yeah, but even still, like the big PR explosion that was the launch of that game. And mixed with the fact that this is a smaller studio that was first off getting insane amounts of press and hype for the game leading up to its release, and then huge explosion in failure to deliver after it was released, and bugs and all kinds of this, that would close any other studio of a similar size.
Absolutely.
I watched those trailers
saved.
like 1,000 times before the game came out because I was like jazzed.
Yeah.
They probably got saved by the fact that they did release it, and a lot of people bought it based on that hype, and then
So
they got a whole bunch of extra
money.
revenue to coast until they were able to make it a real
They
game.
were able to take those resources and apply them to making the game they promised.
We basically bought the Steam Greenlight version of the game.
I was gonna say, if it were any other game, it would be early access.
Early
But
access.
It's a lot of fun. It feels more alive than it ever did, and it feels like what they promised day one. And I'm going to put a lot more hours into it. Cool. I am enjoying the heck out of it. So
that's good. How about you, Dad?
I've really only played the new Fire Emblem. That's about it. I will say, for all of the complaining that I did before it came out, a lot of the things that they hyped up aren't nearly as offensive as they seem they would be. Like, yeah, it's still an anime game, and the storytelling is but it's a Fire Emblem game. It's got good Fire Emblem gameplay. They made a lot of improvements. Tea Time's fucking dumb, though.
Yeah, we finally got into Tea Time. So if you haven't seen, we have been filming Dan's first run with Fire Emblem, and we finally got Tea Time unlocked, and that was startling. When you have a perfect tea time.
Yeah, when you have a perfect tea time, whoever is across the table from you, it just zooms in onto their face. And it's very unsettling because they're creepy looking anime characters, and specifically the person that I managed to get the perfect tea time with is just this small girl who has huge, like, bright green eyes, and it just zoomed right on her face. I actually was just like, ah!
So, tea time.
Tea time.
Yeah.
I watched some of the videos. They were very funny. It's McCheese.
Yes, Professor McCheese.
Professor McCheese. But you're telling
left
me
the life of being a mayor.
You're telling me, in addition to being a Fire Emblem game, it's also an anime dating sim and a
that's
golf game?
the thing. It is not an anime dating sim.
Except for the tea time.
This is actually way less offensive as far as the dating stuff goes than like the last 2 Fire Emblem games. Specifically the last one. The last one.
I just don't see what golf has to do with any of this.
Well, there's no golf. There's fishing.
You said tea time.
I thought I was drinking.
What's your handicap, Dan?
Stop it! You're killing us, bro.
See, it's like when a child cries in a corner, they just want attention. You just don't respond.
But no, and I agree with you in that, you know, like, while Tea Time is ridiculous, at least it has direct benefit to the gameplay.
Yeah.
In that, like, by doing anything that is building relationships, so like Tea Time and things like that, you're building up a meter that you can then deplete by teaching them skills and raising their levels.
Well, so Tea Time doesn't do that.
Oh, Tea Time doesn't?
No.
Does it do your professor stat?
It does the charm stat, which increases the effectiveness of all of your squadrons, like your gambits your... Yeah. Because that's a new mechanic to this one that's really cool, is units have a leadership stat, an authority stat that you can assign powerful units that have gambits attached to them that can do a whole lot of things like lock enemies down or reposition them if you hit them. You have group heals, group spell casting, stuff like that. That's brand new to the series and is actually really good, but I suspect that it's very overpowered, and we're going to find that out. Yeah. That's why as I'm playing, I'm training all of my students, even the ones who aren't specialized in authority, to get up to like at least C, because I know those squadrons are going to be overpowered later on.
Yeah.
Insert X-Men joke here.
But that's about it.
Previously on X-Men.
Life don't get much better than this.
Still wrapped up in the hell of getting that Space Station 13 server up. Almost there.
We believe in you.
I've only been able to get 2 other people to actually do any work. Everyone else is flaked out. But don't worry, it's gonna happen. I've already only paid for 2 months of server uptime for no use aside from stress testing.
Stressing?
Actually, how easy is it to move your setup? Because I just have a server that you can put it on.
It should be pretty easy. We'll see. I'll talk to my my software guy.
Okay.
I've talked about Ian before.
Yeah,
Ian is the guy who's fronting the Space Station 13 endeavor for the most part. He knows more about it than me. I'm just I'm the face man.
Because I can just spin up
Templeton Peck
server for like nothing.
Okay.
And we can put it on that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Brooks, what have you been playing?
Well, apart from this super dope Neo Geo X that I received in a package this week from
You have to do
one of our biggest fans.
Yes. Would you display for our audio-only listener?
Behold, for the audio listening.
Audio-only listeners, you can hear the plastic clapping right now.
This is the Neo Geo Topless Robot ASMR.
All right.
You hear the buttons.
I've been futzing around with this a little bit, but my primary gaming endeavor this week was a little game I like that you play. That's
Is it Chrono Trigger?
Silent Hill 2.
Oh, nice.
Playing Silent Hill 2.
Yeah.
That is, speaking of games that gave me nightmares.
I like the spooky.
The best of the Silent Hill games.
Yeah, and so I was playing the HD remaster on the PS3, and it's hot garbage.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's hot garbage.
What did they get wrong? How do you fuck up an HD remaster?
Well, I watched a video on it this week. There were a lot of little things that have, like, as far as like licensing goes, with like some of the mocap stuff, and they kind of had to work from the ground up when it came to a lot of things, and so they did the best they could, but it just wasn't good.
That sucks.
It wasn't like I played through a lot of it, and it wasn't like unplayable. It's just like comparing the experience on the PS2 to the remaster. It's just not quite the same. It doesn't have the same atmosphere. They also fuck up the fog.
Point of that fucking game is the atmosphere.
They fuck up the mist or the fog or whatever in the beginning of the game, and been playing through it now, and I'm like, yeah, this looks slightly worse, but it's a lot of fun. It's spooky.
That is a game.
that is a shame that they fucked that up, because like that is absolutely the best Silent Hill game.
It is a great game, but it is definitely one that I tried playing by myself at home and with all the lights off and my big old headphones when I was a kid. And that
you do this to
scared
yourself,
the shit
Tyler.
out of me. I did.
Yeah.
I did. That was my choice.
Yep.
So anytime it's foggy out or you hear a siren, it just triggers. Pyramid heads coming for you.
The radio in his car, the static kicks in. And it's like,
Right.
Radio?
I'm like
that radio.
the PTSD dog.
Tyler has been Pavloved in more than one way.
Yeah.
Sometimes by himself.
What can I say?
comedy. Sorry.
And that kind of brings us back around to the PT stuff. Man, I wish that we were getting that Silent Hills. But Brooks mentioned before we started the podcast that there was this theory video about what PT is really about. And
Physical therapy, obviously.
He starts with the hot take
Barnum.
that PT was not actually a teaser for Silent Hills. It's the story of Kojima's relationship with Konami falling.
That wouldn't surprise me.
And the Fox Engine issues and the rise of the mobile game thing.
This is exactly the kind of obtuse storytelling method that Kojima would use.
Yep.
Kojima's cry for help would be PT.
But at least if we don't get Silent Hills, at least PT influenced a ridiculous amount of indie horror games that have been great.
Is PT going to be this current generation of gaming's Duke Nukem Forever? Where when we finally get it, it's just going to suck?
I don't think that we'll actually get it. I don't think that's going to end up happening. Konami has expressed that they have no interest in making video games.
And they couldn't without Kojima anyway. I mean, they... Metal Gear Survive.
They just renewed the license, too.
Did they?
For Silent Hill, the trademark.
Because they're still making pachinko games out of it.
Probably.
And mobile
I
and
fucking
big
hate
mobile
Konami
games
now,
too.
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they love games, just not the right games.
They love gambling.
Yeah,
They like making
had
money.
Devolved the Metal Gear and Castlevania and Silent Hill into pachinko machines, which are very popular in Japan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So,
Interesting.
Yeah.
So we don't get any more cool games from that company anymore.
No. Because, all these companies are seeing the ways that they can make money, and
Not gonna
apparently
get that Sparkster sequel that we were promised.
like people who grew up gaming aren't that market anymore. They're not the market that's going to sustain these companies that just want more money.
The barrier of entry in terms of like how much money you have to put into a game is probably like the difference is like you make a pachinko game, you just make it and it's good. It's not like you have a billion designers and artists and all that stuff. Like you probably make so much more money off of that, to be honest.
Probably.
I mean, we're seeing similarities with that anyway. Even with video games having gambling built into them with loot crates now and shit like that. It doesn't matter. Everything just goes back down to gambling because human beings love to gamble for some fucking reason.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's just a waste of money.
And speaking of Loot Crate went
Oh,
under,
that's right.
or is
Loot
going
Crate
under.
declared bankruptcy.
Where will you get your cheap crap now, Internet?
I'm hoping my cheap crap comes in the fucking mail soon.
Yeah, if you watch our videos on YouTube, you'll know that for a long while there, I was doing Loot Crate unboxings every month. That stopped when I stopped receiving Loot Crate boxes, even though I was paying for them. For the past 3 months, Loot Crate has been unable to satisfy and send out these crates. And I was wondering what the hell was going on. It's like, I kept getting, it was regular. I would get emails about shipping delays and shit like that. And they're like, it's coming. We're just going to have to delay it. And until this week when I received the email that they were declaring bankruptcy, that they had acquired a $10 million bankruptcy loan in order to satisfy outstanding crates. That everything will be run as business as usual, even though they laid off like their entire warehouse staff. And they're, I believe, looking for a purchaser, like someone to buy out Loot Crate.
I think, didn't they?
Disney.
I thought they found it.
God damn it.
Disney shall own the world.
I mean, all that Marvel stuff that they're kind of that they huck all the time. I mean, Disney could just be like directly do it. I don't know. I never fell for a Loot Crate as much as they have a couple of things that I wanted, but and I've ordered off of their.
But you're an adult; you can just buy those.
I know exactly. It's just like, so I bought some of the things, the Loot Crate things, just outside of the crate. Like on Amazon, there's like there are a couple of things still on my wish list that I was like, well, it's not worth getting all that other stuff, but this one thing, maybe if I'm drunk and I'm chilling on my wish list. I'm
See,
like, yeah,
I kind of enjoy crate culture. I like getting just some, something that I know is going to be tuned to my interests in some way. That's just kind of a neat surprise every month. I really enjoy those. Except for that time that Jasmine broke into my crate and hid a fucking Smirnoff Ice in it.
that was wonderful.
That was
lovely.
The pregnant pause. Like, damn it.
I was filming an unboxing. Jasmine, my girlfriend Jasmine, had opened the crate without my knowledge and tucked a Smirnoff Ice in the shirt in the crate and then resealed it.
And it's lovely when you're watching the video. He goes like, this has some heft to it. Like, this feels heavier than usual.
Yep.
See, we have all been iced.
Yeah.
We've all been iced.
Me more than once.
Oh, we'll be bringing it back. Don't worry.
Yep. So yeah, I have June, July, and August that are all supposed to ship to me at the end of this month.
Cool.
I bought some Lord of the Rings. There's like a 3-pack Lord of the Rings thing that I saw back in freaking January January, February, and it was supposed to be right when they stopped shipping was when it was going to send out. Yeah. They say it's going to ship at the end of this month.
You Loot Crate in one hand and
just...
Wish in the other, and your Wish order will be here in 6 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be. It'll be interesting to see what ends up happening with that, because I don't think that crates are dead yet.
They're not dead yet.
I never thought that specifically Loot Crate, because like there are other, since Loot Crate, there's been a bunch of other. Everyone's got a box with something in it now. Hell, we can have a box with something in it now, where we
could
put clippings of Tyler's hair or something like that.
We collect Tyler's tears. Yeah. Everyone gets a small jar of Tyler tears.
Like
and they come in a squirt bottle.
Yeah, right. Like the bath water. Yeah.
Gamer girl bath water.
Don't drink it.
It's got glitter in it.
But it never seemed like it would be all that sustainable, because with Loot Crate, and the subscription thing, for example, buying an individual one as opposed to subscribing and saving, never seemed like it would be that worth it to me. And I know a lot of other people have felt the same way.
Yep.
And that's why I'm not a crate guy, because if I want something out of that crate, I'll just go buy it. Because I don't want novelty shot glasses and this keychain that I'll never use as part of my thing. I like junk, but I like the junk that I pick out.
I collect nerdy shirts and band shirts and shit like that. So I'm happy to receive a shirt in every crate. And their figures are pretty neat. The last crate that I received came with a great Ghostbusters figure in it. Really solid, little Ghostbusters figure. So I don't know. So we do have our guest here, Mr. Chris McCullough. And I figure we would probably be doing a very poor job if we don't at least ask you a few questions.
You're gonna put me up against the wall, okay?
So, when you auditioned for Five Nights, were you already familiar with the franchise at that point?
I was. I would, but by the time I knew the franchise, I'd played the first game. By the time the third had come out, I'd kind of, was like everyone else, okay, this is good, it's run its course, and then just forgot about it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and then that's when he made FNAF World, the RPG that no one really liked, but so he had to make a version 2 because it was too cute. And like, how did you make cute characters of these? So he made an update, and he made it more frightening, and then he added a mini game, which was a spoof of Star Fox called Foxy Fighters. And that's where I got the audition for. And at the time, I didn't know it was him. It's just crazy characters for a game. And I kept looking at the name, Scott Cawthon in Dallas. And like I told my wife, I think I just got a job from the guy that does Five Nights. and I didn't find out until the game update came out and said, dude, you were great in FNAF. And I'm like, huh?
No shit. So you didn't know when auditioning that it was for FNAF World or anything like that?
No, they're very secretive with stuff like that.
Huh. That's really cool. So since then, you have also been in Sister Location?
Yes, I played Vlad the vampire in the soap opera series. Yeah, I tell you, the baby isn't mine.
Yeah, love it.
Yes.
And while people probably mostly recognize you from FNAF, you've also done you did Hank Pym in a Marvel game, is that right?
The mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell.
Yeah, it was a Marvel.
Can I skip this cutscene, please?
It was for Marvel Avengers Academy as a mobile game.
Okay.
The same one that did Family Guy. They've since stopped.
Sure.
Which was sad. I don't know why they stopped the game. But it's interesting you brought that up, and you brought up the MMO of the Avengers, because someone in Wikipedia said I'm doing Hank Pym in the game, and that's not true. Okay. So I had my first bullshit Wikipedia entry.
Yes, that's how you know you've made it.
Yeah, I saw that. I think you need a wiki page at this point.
I think I do too. I have an IMDb.
Set the record straight.
Well, if you're gonna get a wiki page, just fill it with a bunch of bullshit, so that way when somebody lies, you'll know that it's clearly a lie, because it'll be too normal.
You remember, Wikipedia is the be-all and end-all of all correct information.
I'm the first exclusively hang gliding voice actor
in the news.
I committed the first space crime.
I recorded the first video game in space. That would actually be kind of cool.
That would be cool.
Yeah, but if the game sucks, then it's ruined space forever.
And your most recent credit, though probably not your most recent gig, was the Exorcist VR.
Yes. The Exorcist Legion VR. On episode 4, I do the voice of Lieutenant Jameson, who's interviewing one of the prisoners. After you beat that, what's what I'm looking for? That scene, and you go back to your office, there's a tape that begins there.
Cool.
Jameson liked liquor. All right. Hard time.
I imagine that there are probably some smaller games that you've worked on that don't necessarily get the coveted IMDb entry.
Let me see. Well, it's on there, but it's really small. I did also work for a children's math game called Prodigy.
Math games? All right!
Fuck yeah, Math Blaster forever.
And I basically played
Excuse me, Jumpstart first grade. That's the best one.
I don't think it's on there. I actually had a really small part in Payday 2.
Oh, yeah,
cool.
It was on, and I think...
Who were you?
The credit was really funny, too, if I remember right.
That's Chris.
Hi, I've been here for an hour.
Yeah.
No, it was my first video game job. It's for the Barbecue Butcher's Pack.
Yep. Okay.
Anytime you set someone on fire, that's me screaming.
Yes. which I do a lot. I've played a lot of Payday 2, and I've done a lot of like dedicated builds where I light people on fire and stab them with a barbecue fork. It's great. So.
Yeah, I think your credit on that was actually Screaming Guy. Yeah.
I've heard this man scream more times than I knew.
It kind of sounds like...
Yeah. Dan's like, I've modeled my life after you.
What we should do is edit that out and then play the actual clip.
You obviously, I'm sure, do more than just video game voices in your voice acting. What are some of those other projects that you've been
really,
involved in?
the only stuff I do right now is just commercial voices and stuff like that. I think my biggest paying one, the worldwide, I did a health juice called Chiari.
Health juice.
Yeah, it's like a
weasel.
whole problem. Yeah, it's Aki berry, smoothie shakes type of thing.
Sure. Huh. Right.
I also got to do I'm their whole voice also.
Nice. So is that kind of like a, hey, since we've got you for this, could you
want to do this
too?
Yeah.
Do they give you a palette of the juice they were trying to?
No, I haven't seen that. And actually, the other long-term one I've done is for an instant messenger called Bro6.
Bro6?
Bro6.
This sounds really
suspicious.
Yeah.
What's going on with this one?
So
Definitely sounds like
it's like you don't need to use email and phone. Just use this one instant message.
Email and phone are for losers, bro.
It's like the what's the app where you can the high five app or whatever on Silicon Valley where all you can do, or no, it's a fist bump app. Like all you can do is send a fist bump. This is a messaging app where all you can do is say, bro. Sick.
Sick, bro.
Dude, you got to point there.
Dude. Bro, sick.
Dude.
Bro, sick, bro.
Bro, sick, bro. Bro.
Very Shakespearean there.
Yeah.
Don't encourage him.
No, you have opened a can of worms.
That's what I was going for. So.
Oh, no.
No, there are too many open cans of worms. I already did the New Zealand accent, so that's coming back at some point.
Well, that was Shakespearean, but your iambic pentameter was just a bit off.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Bro, sick, bro.
Much better.
As someone who is a voice actor in games and a fan of games, are there any games that you any game series that you would like is on the wish list that you'd really love to lend your voice to?
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No fucking hesitation. I love it.
Yeah, that's confidence.
Yeah.
Talk to me, Ed Boon. Talk to me.
You've clearly thought about this before.
That's my little brass ring. That's the one.
Nice. Yeah, that would definitely be.
You too could be the new voice of Sonya Blade.
Yeah,
do a lot better than Ron. I tell you that.
that's what I was gonna ask. Is there a character that you would like to take over voicing, or would you just be cool even if it was like a new character?
Johnny Cage.
Johnny Cage.
Yeah. I mean, you kind of sound like Jean-Claude Van Damme, I guess.
Now you just want to do everyone's screams, right? Every time anyone gets punched.
Oh, the nut shots.
You may not know this, but I'm already the slowed down screams from all of the fatal blows.
That's great. Of the games that you've voiced, which is your favorite to play?
Ooh, that's a good one. Out of the ones that I voiced, I'm going through my mind thinking of all of them, plugging them. What the fuck? Probably Ultimate Custom Night.
Yeah,
I really do like that one. That one's got a lot of. It's a workout when I play that game. I have nothing but for people that have other streamers that do 3-4 hours.
Yeah.
I mean, 30 minutes of that. I need a breather. So.
Yeah, I have not played Ultimate Custom Night yet, but I've watched, the prolific FNAF YouTubers, play it, Markiplier and shit like that, and Matt Pat from Game Theory, and good lord, that game, like, you can pick any characters and set them to the highest, most high difficulty, and I can't remember what the full, like, proper
50-20 mode.
50-20, that's what it is. And good fucking Christ, I would never be able to do that. And now that I think about it, why haven't we put Tyler through this yet?
Please don't.
Go ahead.
One of my friends is a prolific YouTuber in the UK. Goes by Daco.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was watching and he made a point that he was going to beat 50-20 mode. And I saw the poor child have meltdowns because of this. And when he finally did it, you can just see the emotion.
I imagine that there's got to be a real, like, solid feeling of success. Mm-hmm. Like, you once you actually do get to the end of that. But fuck, man.
Well, he actually won a bet. If he was able to do that, he got to do an interview with Scott Cawthon.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Very cool.
That's the kind of bet worth making.
Yeah.
Especially with how elusive Scott seems to be as a person.
He is.
Yeah, right. And
I'm not on his Christmas card list. I just work for him.
I think we may have mentioned this in a way earlier episode of the podcast, but Scott Cawthon started out like before FNAF, he was making like religious games.
Yeah, he was making, but his style was deemed too like creepy and off-putting.
Yeah.
And so that's
he
why
just leaned into it.
He's like, whatever, fuck it. You call my style creepy, I'm gonna make a scary game.
Yeah, that was the thing. He was doing all those and weren't money. He's like, I'll try one more idea with pizza and animatronics, and all of a sudden he adds a story and
Hey, you know what's cool? Fucked up Chuck E. Cheese.
And it's fucking like there's that new movie that just
the banana splits.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I grew up watching the Banana Splits TV show because I'd catch it after Super Chunk on Saturdays and Cartoon Network. And so I heard a Banana Splits movie was coming out, and I was just like, what are they gonna do? That show was dumb.
It's a horror movie.
Yeah, and then I found out that they're making it scary, and I'm just like, fuck.
That has to have been influenced by the FNAF craze.
Probably.
I know a lot of FNAF fans are interested in it.
Yeah.
They'll watch it.
And wasn't there, for a while there was going to be a FNAF movie?
It's still in the works.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I think they changed studios though. It went from like a big studio to more of like a stranger indie film
That's
studio.
Blumhouse.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Blumhouse is
Okay.
doing it.
They're great.
If it's still true, Chris Columbus is directing it.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
No kidding.
Chris Columbus?
Oh, the guy that discovered America.
God damn it.
I hate you. You stole my joke. Okay, you can have that.
I will take what I wish.
I knew it was coming. I absolutely knew it was coming.
Come on, it's me.
Yeah.
It's the low-hanging fruit. You can't avoid it.
Yeah. So are there any projects that you're working on currently that you're able to talk about?
Some really good
Are there any
stuff coming
projects
out.
that you can't talk about?
Stupid NDAs. I'm doing commercial work. That's about it.
Well, fair enough.
We can just censor it out if you just want to.
Great for the podcast.
Wait. So if we sign a non-disclosure disclosure,
could it was a little bit.
double negative contract.
There may be a game coming out in October that I might be
there
doing
may be a piece of
something
software
with. I don't
featuring audio
know.
clips.
He can neither confirm nor deny.
Oh, and I saw that at Phoenix Fan Fusion, not Comic-Con at all.
Phoenix Confusion.
You did a panel with Andy Field.
Yes.
Andy Field, I've never met him or talked to him personally, but he is a close associate of my old voiceover teacher, Chuck Huber.
Yes.
I took classes with Chuck Huber last year, and I know both he and Andy Field like co-run these master classes and stuff like that.
He was a teacher and then got into. He used to teach junior high, and then decided the same thing. You do voices. Why don't you do voice acting? And just got into that. So
that's really cool. Yeah, I've heard great things about him. That he's a really good teacher and very cool dude. But we have come to the end of the podcast.
Say it ain't so.
It is that time.
We will now go.
Oh my god!
You know, I knew before I opened my mouth it was going to happen, and I should have stopped. I should have stopped.
Really?
But I didn't.
You thought it was going there and not say it.
That's where my head
No, I thought it was going where he. Yeah, no.
that pregnant.
You know what? Your comments are a heartbreaker.
there.
So, Chris, why don't you tell everyone where you can be found on the socials?
On the socials, I've made it so easy. I use that when I used to do stand up. I had a handle of Grig Lager, and you just find it anything Twitter, YouTube. You will find it. It's Grig with an I, lager like the beer.
Cool.
Is it Grig?
Grig.
Oh, like from The Last Starfighter.
Yeah. Otherwise, you can just go to my webpage, chrismcculloughvo.com, and they've got all the links there.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast.
Wonderful time.
We'll maybe collaborate on some ideas in the not too distant
I think we might be finding something we'd be talking about.
Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Again.
Yeah, let me tell you something, brother. You load the podcast with the rocket fuel, and you start the mega powers, and you hit that subscribe button. Ooh, I'm not gonna rip my shirt because it's the only one I have right now. Subscribe.